Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper, and in this video today I'm going to go over with you one of the most important questions people ask when they begin prepping, and that is, what kind of foods can you use for prepping and how long does it last? I think that's the most important question a person can ask when it comes to food for your preps, because you don't want to just get something, put it on the shelf, and it's not going to hold up. Now, what I'm going to do is go over 3 different groups. I broke this down in 3 groups that I use for my personal preps, and what I'm going to tell you on a few things, such as here in just a moment about some canned food, is my personal discretion. You know, you have to use your own discretion about some of these things. We're going to go over canned food, normal stuff that you get at the store, MREs, and dehydrated / freeze-dried foods. Okay? Now, to begin with, if you've seen a video I've done in the past with Mre'S down at the local food pantry, where everyone needs to support your local food pantry, okay? Rotate this stuff out. Canned food only lasts 2 to 3 years by the expiration date, okay? That's pretty much general rule of thumb. Canned food can last longer, you know, that's the opinion of many people if you keep it in a climate-controlled environment. Mrs. has said herself personally, you know, that she feels that canned food can go past, you know, a certain date. When people are starving, I assure you in the near future when the 7 trumpets begin to happen, that date is not going to mean a whole lot on that can if you're starving to death. Just saying. But the rule of thumb is I would try to keep this rotated on a 2 to 3 year basis. You know, if this says 2015, so or it says best by September 2015. Okay, so come, you know, August, I'm probably going to take that down to the pantry and, you know, rotate that up. Now, when it comes to bottled stuff, you know, I've showed you how to do this in the past. Just make sure to put an oxygen absorber in here, and, you know, FEMA even recommends this repurposing 2-liter bottles. Okay, the only thing about this is people's opinions have varied on how long dry store stuff like rice, things like that will last in these 2 liters. I'm going personally, I said personally, this is not written in stone, I'm going to go 7 years on mine. That's what I'm hoping for, okay? FEMA, I believe, recommends 2 to 3. So nevertheless, you know, that's still a decent storage time, okay? That'll give you more time than it would in the bag just thrown on the shelf, okay? Now, moving from that, we've got MREs. Now, MREs are awesome. These are some of the real deal Department of Defense MREs, okay? Now, I want to tell you something about MREs that most people don't take into consideration. If you try your best to keep the food laws in the Bible that our Creator Yahweh has told us to keep, okay, cheese contains enzymes. Alright, enzymes, I used to think enzymes were just part of the cheese culture process. It's added from animal, okay? Now, most often, guess what it's added from? Pork. Okay, so obviously if you're trying to keep the scripture and you keep Leviticus 11, you're not going to want to eat pork. So even though this is a vegetarian meal, chances are in the cheese contains enzymes or monodiglycerides, which is pork. Okay, so be careful when selecting MREs if you're trying your best to keep the scripture, because you can find trace amounts of pork and other unclean things in the most smallest of spaces. Now, MREs, based on U.S. Army statistics, 120 degree weather storage, you're only going to get a month out of it. Alright? 110 degrees is 5 months. 100 degrees is 22 months. 90 degrees is 55 months. 80 degrees is 76 months. 70 degrees 100 months. And 60 degrees 130 months. Now, what I done is I went and based mine off of where that I'm storing it in what you would call a root cellar or a basement or storeroom. I'm going with the 70 degrees, okay, because it's usually throughout the year like maybe 68 to 70, all right, maybe give or take a degree. So I'm looking at an 8 to 8.5 year storage on MREs. Now, with that said, you know, MREs contain a lot of stuff. But the good thing about it is the same situation for what the content is within it. You know, it's going to hold up because all these things are made for a long storage, and plus the military has, you know, is hard on them. All right, so you know your entree, your side, all these things, they're made to last. All right, so you're looking at the moment 2 to 3 year in a decent storage around 70 degrees, 7 years. 8.5. But now, the beef of prepping, okay, is dehydrated freeze-dried. Eventually, as you build up these stocks of these things, you want to get some hardcore preps that's going to last. This right here, 25-year shelf life, okay? Now, I buy from Thrive Food, and I would recommend Honeyville also, because like Honeyville has freeze-dried sweet potatoes. Yeah, freeze-dried sweet potatoes. I was trying to remember if they're dehydrated. But these strawberries right here are whole strawberries, okay? They're freeze-dried. Awesome. You can eat it straight out of the can or rehydrate it. Excellent food. This, on the other hand, don't put this in your mouth until you've cooked it. Move that essence pack out of the way. These, some things are dehydrated, some things are freeze-dried. Whenever you get something out, make sure to cook it thoroughly, okay? Other than if it's maybe fruits or the corn or stuff, you'll bust your teeth out of your head, okay? Now, I'll give you another example of that. Here is green, or split green peas, all right? These right here, definitely want to cook them, okay? But the great thing about it is you got a lot of servings out of this can. Now, once these are open, you're looking at a 2-year shelf life. So, 25 years sealed, 2 years after open. That's a pretty good time frame. Now, they come in different sizes. Most of these companies make stuff in a number 10 size can or a pantry can. And this right here is 35 servings of beans. Okay, that could feed my household, just me and my family alone, many days over. This could feed my mag group for a day or two. But for 10 bucks, you know, 10, 15 bucks for a can, you break that down just across everyone in a situation where you might starve to death. That's not bad at all. That's a couple dollars to, you know, per day to save your life. Not bad at all. Now, going back to clean and unclean foods. I purchased this and it was cheese blend. Now, I didn't know at first that, you know, cheese had enzyme in it. And right here it says salts, milk cultures, and enzymes. So this more than likely potentially has pork in it. So therefore I can't eat it. Why do I have this in my hand right now? To use my mistakes as an example to you how to prep and not mess up and not spend money on something that you ain't going to eat, because I'm not going to transgress my Creator's commands. So obviously I'm not going to eat that. Now, it would be good to keep around to feed to the dog. That's good dog food right there, okay? So when my dog's starving to death, he's going to have some wonderful cheese blend. Alright, now another thing. Shortening, okay? Right here contains mono and diglycerides. Shortening is something hard to prep because even vegetable shortening has a short, you know, expiration date. So that's something you want to make sure to keep rotating all the time. This shortening powder also, I was not aware of this at the time when I bought this, so there you go. That's something else that maybe I'll be feeding to the dogs out back when the hard times come and run out of dog food. I hope these are things that you take into consideration when you prep. My greatest advice to you if you are beginning prepping right now, canned foods, MRE, then the dehydrated freeze-dried. That's the route to go. Don't go dropping a ton of coin on this right now, because there's still, once you open this can, you've still got to do some preparation to it. This is straight into the pot. This is straight into either pouch heater or into some boiling water, and you're ready to go. This, just a little more effort, but longer term, okay? And once you've got them all together, you even have better variety as opposed to whenever you need it. So I hope this has been a help to you. I hope this kind of gives you some insight on, you know, how to go about this. And once again, this is some of my personal advice to you. And until we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper, have a most blessed day in Yahushua's name.